and get started.
All right, let's see if I can move this. Okay, well, good afternoon. Ms. Post, thank you so much for allowing me to provide a presentation to the students at Lamar High School about Texas Southern University. I'm very excited to be here today to share information with you. My name is Brian Armstrong. I am the Executive Director of Outreach Services for TSU, and part of my area includes the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So I am the contact person for students at Lamar High School if they're choosing to consider or if they're applying for admission to Texas Southern University. So I'm gonna go through and provide some information about TSU. I'm going to provide a link to our virtual campus tour in the chat section. So at the end of the presentation, if you want to actually bookmark that or um, click that link into a virtual campus tour, it is self-paced. You can decide to do all of it at one time, or you can go to different buildings on campus, or you can actually just decide how often you want to spend time on the virtual tour. So it's set up to be self-paced. Um, I am a graduate of Texas Southern University. I received my doctorate degree from TSU, so there I am graduating in 2019 with my doctorate of education from Texas Southern University. Today, I plan to talk about a couple of things that I think you would be interested in knowing about TSU. One will be why even choose TSU? What makes us separate from all of the universities that are out there? I will talk about some of our academic programs and majors, some of the ones that you may know about that are popular, and then some that may not be so well popular, but are very good in terms of careers, internships, and things like that. I will share with you what it takes to become a TSU student, our admission requirements, and then I'll talk about our financial aid process and our scholarship awards. I will share with you information about living on campus at TSU, and then campus life in general, campus organizations, Greek life, campus life in general. And then I will give you that link for the virtual campus tour, and then I'll be available to answer any questions you have about TSU. So without any delay, I'll go right into it. Why choose TSU? Well, I've got 4 good reasons why I think a student should consider Texas Southern University. The first one, the number of programs that we offer. Very soon you're going to see a slide that lists the #1 programs that we offer for students in Texas that are African American. So you'll see that we've got some really great bachelor programs for students going into their first 4 years in college, but we also have a number of master's program and doctorate programs, including our Thurgood Marshall School of Law and our College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences. So we really can provide you with your start, your throughout, and your finish, all at Texas Southern University. Another benefit of choosing TSU is the city that we're in. Houston is the largest city in Texas and one of the largest in the nation. That's a really good place to be when it comes to things off campus, like internships, part-time jobs, and just off-campus life. So I think that a partnership between the city of Houston and Texas Southern really provides an ideal atmosphere for a student considering to go to college. One of the things that I really think that makes TSU an ideal institution would be our student support services. I know that students at Lamar High School have had the advantage of having dedicated advisors, teachers, and counselors to help you through your 4 years in high school. And that could be very challenging if you don't have that same kind of support in college. So we are, ideal for providing those kinds of support services, those resources available to our new students. We have what's called the first year experience at TSU, where we pair our new freshmen with a dedicated freshman advisor that works with them the entire time of their first year at TSU, from the enrolling in classes part all the way through their full first year at TSU. So they'll have an opportunity to connect with an academic advisor to kind of help make that first year very successful. And then campus life. I mean, we are a historically Black college university. So what we do for our students both on and off campus really provides an ideal opportunity for all students to consider Texas Southern University. And I'll tell you more about our campus life throughout the presentation. I mentioned earlier some of our academic programs. Here you will see the programs where we are ranked #1 in Texas for degrees awarded to African American students. So you'll see the majors that are accounting, marketing, law, health, communications, management, transportation. All of these majors are ranked #1 in Texas, not just HBCU wide, but across the entire state for degrees awarded to African American students. In Texas, we've got several rankings when it comes to the degrees awarded to African American students. We are #3 for bachelor's degrees awarded, #5 for master's degrees, And for doctoral students that are African American, #2 for research, and then #1 for professional, which is the program that I was in at Texas Southern University. And you can also see some of our national rankings. So I want students to know that when they're considering Texas Southern University, they are considering an academic institution that can prepare them for their first 4 years of college, as well as all the way through their ultimate goal, whether it be law school or medical school or pharmacy school or whatever your goals are for academic wise. TSU can prepare you for those areas. Now, what is TSU known for? These are our listing of our very popular majors. Houston, TSU is right in the heart of Houston, which is right next to the Texas Medical Center. So there's no secret there why students that are majoring in biology pre-med choose TSU. We're right next to the largest area of university hospitals in the world. So biology is a very popular major at TSU, but we also have popular majors in business. We have a College of Pharmacy, so pre-pharmacy is a very popular major. Psychology, criminal justice, health, human performance, kinesiology, and sport management are our top majors for our incoming freshmen and transfer students. Now, what about majors that aren't so popular but are very good when it comes to internships or salaries attached to those majors? Some of our unique majors include aviation science management. We teach students how to fly airplanes and run airports. And so we've got a very good program under aviation science management for students. We also have a very unique program, it's becoming very popular, in the entertainment and recording industry management program. Prior to this major, we would have students that would come from the Houston area, the Dallas area, California, all over, and they'd want to major in entertainment. That would be their ultimate goal. They want to work in the entertainment industry, but they were torn between which major to choose. So that some of them chose public affairs, some of them chose communication, some of them chose public relations. There was a lot of options available, business management. And so we didn't want students having to choose on any one particular area when all of them together provide a really good program of study. So we created one program that combines all of those particular areas, and we call that the Entertainment and Recording Industry Management major at TSU. Maritime transportation is also a unique major at TSU. We're right near our Port of Houston. And so we have a great opportunity to work with the Port of Houston, the Department of Homeland Security, to really have students with jobs that can provide them with salaries and jobs when they graduate. You know, for some majors like biology, that usually requires you going to medical school or some kind of graduate training. If you're going into pre-law, usually you go to law school following pre-law. There are a lot of programs that are popular that require additional time to study: medicine, law, engineering, etc. Some students can't wait that long. Some students can't wait for 7 or 8 years to start making money. They've got to do it pretty quickly. And so these majors provide students that opportunity. They can still go on and do some things regarding graduate school or post-undergraduate work, but so for many of those students, they've got to start making some money very quickly. And so these are the kind of majors that provide that opportunity. Human performance is quite unique at TSU. Yes, there are programs like kinesiology across the nation, across the state, but we've partnered with several of our local area athletic organizations, our NBA team, our NFL team, to help our students have hands-on experience as they're going through our human performance major. And then clinical laboratory science. You know, if you wanted to work in an environment where you could kind of, you know, help study coronaviruses or understand what they look like and how they can both hurt and help people, then this major for clinical laboratory science might be an ideal major to consider under our College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences. What does it take to be a TSU Tiger? So for freshman admission requirements, we require a 2.5 GPA on a 4.0 scale. We also require either a 17 ACT score or a 900 total SAT score. If you're in the top 10% of your high school class, rest assured you're automatically admitted to TSU. That's a state requirement. And all of our students can apply online at applytexas.org. Okay, let's talk about money. How do you get financial aid to go to college? That's very important. I mean, even our #1 students, our top students need resources. You know, they're getting scholarships, they may be getting financial aid or a combination of the resources to help them afford to attend the institution of their choice. So for current high school seniors, they will soon start completing, and I mean soon as in the next couple of weeks, October 1st, they will start to complete the 21-22 free application for federal student aid, the FAFSA application. So now is a good time to work with Ms. Post and the TCU team to help prepare you for applying for the FAFSA. It requires that you have a login as well as your parent to have a login. If you're not eligible for the FAFSA, you may be eligible for the TASFA application. That's the Texas application for financial aid. That's also available at tasfa.gov, or you can just do a Google search for the TASFA application. So either the FAFSA or the TASFA will help students apply for financial aid. At TSU, our priority deadline is in March. So by March 1st, we will start the priority awarding process. That means that between now and March 1st, you can start to turn in all the documents that you need. Sometimes students think that if they do the FAFSA and hit submit, they're done. But as you may soon learn, it sometimes takes additional documents to complete the FAFSA. So when we say priority deadline, that's to complete your FAFSA, not to start your FAFSA. So you want to make sure that you complete your FAFSA in a timely manner. At TSU, we offer our students a link to their My TSU web portal. That's real-time information regarding their admission and financial aid awards. So throughout your application process for admission and for financial aid, you can have real-time access to your information through the My TSU web portal. We award scholarships a little different than other schools, and I'm going to share with you how that works in a little bit. But we also use the application for admission for scholarships. So if you're interested in applying to TSU, or if you're interested in applying for a scholarship, I encourage you to apply for admission as soon as possible, because students who are admitted to TSU have a higher priority than students who are not yet admitted to the university. And then for FAFSA, there are some students that are chosen to have their financial aid information verified. That process is called verification. You'll learn more about that as you start your FAFSA information. But remember, an unverified FAFSA is an incomplete FAFSA. So if you're chosen for verification, you want to work with Ms. Post and your advisors and counselors to help you complete the verification process. So I mentioned earlier that we award scholarships a little bit different. If you look at this particular slide here, what you will not see from many of these scholarship awards would be an ACT or an SAT score. We realized a couple of years ago that we had some really bright students across the nation. 3.9 GPAs, 3.7, 3.6, 3.3 GPAs, but many of those students struggled with the standardized test. They didn't have an equivalent test score to provide them with an opportunity to get an academic scholarship to attend TSU. So a couple of years, we kind of, did a game changer. We eliminated the ACT and SAT requirements for those scholarships. So you can be fully admitted to TSU with a 17 ACT or a 900 SAT, but if you have a 3.75 overall GPA, you may qualify for our highest academic scholarship, our Regent Scholarship, which is up to $14,000 a year. If you have a 3.5 GPA or higher, you may qualify for our President's Scholarship, which could be up to $10,000 a year, and our Genesis One Scholarship. For students that have a minimum 3.0 GPA, they may qualify for an academic scholarship of up to $7,000 a year. These are 4-year renewable scholarships, but if you'll notice, I said up to on each category. I said up to $14,000 and up to $10,000 and up to $7,000. When we award students academic scholarships, we look at the whole student in totality, as well as their financial resources. So when we give you an award package sometime in March or April, that will be a package that you can afford to attend TSU. If we learn that you qualify for different kinds of financial resources that may offset your ability to have to borrow loans or things like that, then we may have to reduce your scholarship to avoid having you be over awarded. So you may qualify for up to $14,000, but once we give you your financial aid award letter and we've given you a full review of your awards, we may have to adjust your scholarship award to prevent you from being over awarded. So that's a rare case that happens, but it does happen sometimes, especially to really bright students that qualify for lots of scholarships as well as lots of financial aid. And it's very very similar to how many schools have a promise or a guarantee that if your parents' income is so high or so low, you'll qualify for no tuition and fees, or your aid will cover tuition and fees. It's very similar to our promise that if you qualify for financial assistance through grants and work study and things like that, then we will adjust your scholarship award to give you a full award package so that you can attend TSU without having to borrow loans to be a part of your award package. All of our scholarship information is available on our website on the slide there, tsu.edu/scholarships. Living on campus. I know right now we actually have students who live on campus. We actually started last week having our students who live on campus. So living on campus is a very viable option for TSU students. We hope to continue that throughout the year and of course resume it in full next year. There are 2 options for incoming freshmen to consider when living on campus. They can choose our brand new, at the top right corner, you'll see our University Towers. It is just for incoming freshmen, 400 males and 400 females. If you'll see in the middle there, in the top right slide, in the middle of that particular photo, you'll see the cafeteria that's inside of that actual residence hall for our new freshmen. But freshmen also have an option of living in our urban academic village, which allows students that are not just freshmen to live there, which may or may not be ideal for a first-time freshman. We tend to think that if a student's living with a freshman and that student has your same major, maybe same organization that you want to be a part of or that you're already a part of, you may be more successful than a freshman roommating with a senior level student that's graduating in a semester and already has their study habits down packed. There's some benefits to having a student live in the university towers, but our freshmen have two options available to them during their first years at TSU. Once you apply for admission, we will send you information on how to apply for campus housing. Some things to remember about campus housing. It does require an application fee for $200. And we also must have your meningitis vaccination on file, and pretty soon, probably your COVID-19 vaccination or a negative COVID-19 test to move on campus. But we'll talk more about that during the spring semester when it's time for us to actually start having students apply for living for the next upcoming fall semester. A couple of frequently asked questions about living on campus. Can freshmen have cars? We do allow students to have cars on campus. We don't prefer it. You know, we're a big city. We got Metro. We've got all the resources that you may be used to in the Arlington, Dallas area. So you wouldn't need a car to be able to get around the city of Houston, but freshmen are allowed to have cars on campus. Students can choose their roommate, although we prefer to select someone that has your same major. Now, if you have a really good friend from Lamar coming to TSU or from the Arlington area and you guys have the same major, then that might be a really good opportunity to be a roommate. But we found that when one student has a biology major and their roommate has an art major, yeah, you may be having some fun together at parties and things like that, but when it's time to studying and classes and things like that, you may not have the same level of success as though somebody who has your same major. So we try to pair students based on their major or area of interest, not just because they know each other or they're the same high school or the same city, that kind of thing. Once you apply for housing, we will then send you information on how to complete your lease agreement, and then you'll be one step closer to being one of our new TSU Tigers. Campus life. There's a lot that we do both on and off campus for our students. For our athletic fans or our athletes, we are a Division I school in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, the SWAC conference. So for football, basketball, baseball, volleyball, softball, track and field, bowling, golf, we have a lot of programs available for our students, both for competitive purposes and for intramurals as well. If you're musically inclined or if you're already a part of the band at Lamar High School, perhaps you would be interested in our Ocean of Soul marching band. We've got an award-winning band that travels all over the area, the world, the city, the state to perform on behalf of Texas Southern University. Many students that choose or consider choosing an HBCU usually look at Greek life as an opportunity at some point. The Divine Nine, those Greek-lettered organizations that are part of the Panhellenic Council, usually are very attractive for students coming into TSU. Usually they know a little bit about Greek life. They've seen some movies or they have some advisors or family members who have joined Greek organizations. So they have some familiarity about the prominence of being a part of these 100-year-old organizations. At TSU, we have over 130 campus organizations in addition to our Greek life. So there's a lot that you can do at TSU off and on campus. And if we don't have it, you can start it. So if you're already a part of an organization or you thought, you know what, when I go to college, I'd love to bring what I'm doing at Lamar to TSU, you will have that option available to you as well. And if you like debating, then TSU is a great location for debate. We have a world-renowned debate team. We've got a number of partnerships we do for our students. And if you Google debate in TSU, you will have plenty of reading material on the significance of TSU and debate. Campus tour information. Right now, we are not providing in-person campus tours for obvious reasons, but we still want you to be connected to TSU. So once I stop sharing this particular presentation, I'm going to include a link to our customizable virtual campus tour. You can actually go building by building. You will have one of our former Student Government Association presidents kind of guide you along the way to some things about TSU. When I mentioned that TSU was an HBCU, many of you know that H stands for historical. And historical means there's some real history built into us becoming an HBCU campus, the history of Texas Southern University. So many of these buildings that you will learn about on the virtual campus tour have a historical nature to them. You know, it wasn't always legal for African Americans to read and write and go to college, yet we were still going to college. So there are some historical references that you can learn from as part of the campus tour. You can always go to our website, tsu.edu, under the About section to learn more about the history of Texas Southern University. So I will share that link with you in the virtual chat section, so that you can bookmark that and kind of learn more about TSU on a self-paced area. And then here is my contact information. Again, I'm Dr. Brian Armstrong, the Executive Director of Outreach Services for TSU. All that means is I am your contact for Lamar High School. So if I could be of any assistance to you along the way, to you and your parents, you can contact me by phone or by email address. I'd be happy to connect with you, set up a virtual opportunity to connect with you and your parents, to help you understand the application process, the financial resources, scholarship information, lots of things that may be of interest to you and your parents as you're going through your final year of high school and the all difficult task of selecting which university you will attend for the fall 2021 semester. So with that, I want to again thank Ms. Post for the opportunity to provide this presentation. Students, if you have any questions for me, please let me know. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing this particular screen so